this channel. This is Claire Flavors. In this channel, we appreciate every good thing that God is doing in our lives. We do not take the blessings of God for granted, and everything we see, we just appreciate His goodness and learn from everything we go through. Yes, because life for us is the accumulation of experiences, and as we accumulate all these experiences, we grow our karma, yes, and then we learn from it and we move on. Today, I am going to talk about my experience with my maid. Yes, some people call it maids, some call it helpers, and some call them, I think, whatever name. There's so many names that people, call them these days. But I, for one, I call them, as in the one I have right now, I call her my assistant. Yes, I call her my assistant because I've gone to, make her, feel as part of the home. And, she calls me mommy, and I kind of have like a deep feeling for her. So instead of calling her maid or, house help and all that, I prefer calling her my assistant. Now, I want to talk about one of my experience with one of my maid that has gone, obviously, but I just discovered what she did recently, and I really want to kind of share my experience with her in this channel. If you've not subscribed to this channel, please do subscribe, give me thumbs up, like, and share this content. Thank you very much. And for our existing subscribers, thank you very much for subscribing. I do not take this community for granted, and I really want to appreciate you for subscribing and for staying tuned in this channel. This is Claire Flavors. Early last year, I think yes, it was during that COVID period. Yeah, I think during that COVID period, 2002, 2020, as in 2020, 2020, that one maid came to my house. I think it was my sister that brought her. Then I was not having a maid, and I complained to my older sister, and she kind of arranged a house help for me. You understand? And normally in Nigeria, when you're looking for a house help, mostly is the one that will stay in your house. That's in-house housemaid. That's housemaid. That's what basically we do in Nigeria. So she organized this lady called this. I'm calling her lady. She's not a lady. She's a small girl. Yes, but like kind of 14 years, 15, to come and stay with me. And when they basically come to your house, you are practically responsible for all their, you know, everything that have to do with them, their schooling. If you don't want to put them in school, then you definitely have to put them in a trade or something. And this girl, her name is Vicky. She came to my house, and she became practically my responsibility. So I took her in, and obviously I fell in love with her because she was really very a hardworking kind of girl. And I have a shop, and then she practically took the shop as her own, and she was really running it to the way I wanted it. In fact, she even gingered me to kind of grow the shop at a point, and I was really appreciative. So Vicky was a good girl. And now, before she came, me and my hubby, we kind of discussed and we now say, okay, any maid that is coming to the house will definitely be sleeping with the children in their room. That was it, because the other room that they're supposed to stay, hubby used it as a study room and all that. So that's another story. But she was sleeping in my children's room with them and all that every night, she sleep. Though I wake up in the night to go and check them and all that. But I told you I fell in love with this girl, so nothing really crossed my mind that this girl could have any evil intention or, be exposed to what I'm going to talk about or what I discovered. So I was kind of relaxed because I fell in love with her and she was really giving me herself and taking care of everything that I needed. So basically that's the way we're kind of running things But at a point, the Holy Spirit ministered to me. I don't just know how it happened, but the Holy Spirit ministered to me that I should pull her out of my children's room. But as I was making that arrangement of creating a room for her to be staying, and then leaving my children's room for them to be alone in their room, you know, suddenly she came up with an excuse that she just want to go back to her parents. As in, I talked to her, call her parents, what happened and all that, because I told her I fell in love with her. What happened suddenly like that? You just want to leave the house. What happened? Did anybody hurt you? I tried putting her in school, but I think during that COVID period there was no school. So I now kind of it was 2020. I wanted to put her in school, but there was no school during that period. So I had to put her in learning a trade, that's tailoring. So she was kind of going for it and all that. So on my own part, I tried everything to kind of make her stay. But obviously she just woke up one day and decided back to the house, my house, as in the way we run things with the children. We try, me and hubby, we've never been married. So we're kind of learning with experiences as we're growing and all that. And we now decided in the home that, okay, we're going to create an avenue for the children to be able to talk to us, maybe throughout the week, what their experiences and all that. So we now pick Saturdays for the children to be able to kind of, talk to us or ask them questions, what's going on and all that. So we created that avenue on Saturday. After prayers, we'll ask them, do you have any issue with anybody? Do you have issue with daddy and mommy, or people staying in the house and all that? Well, all this started when Vicky has gone and all that. So I was just trying to kind of manage myself with the children and the house run, working and every other thing. So that's basically what it is. We inculcated that, sharing your view, what is happening to you. Do you have any issue with anybody kind of thing on a Saturday? And it was running perfectly well in the house. The children were like kind of talking. If there's anything bothering them, they talk to us about it on a Saturday. And we're kind of calm on Saturday because, of course, I'm not going to the office. Hobby too is not going out and they're not going to school. So the atmosphere is kind of calm. So everybody had to kind of listen to each other. So that was basically what we're doing on a Saturday after prayers, because we kind of have a family prayer time that we break. We even break Holy Communion and all that. And after all those prayer and every other thing, we now talk, our issues. If anybody have issue, we try to kind of, sort it out and every other thing. So that's the kind of environment we created in the family, and it was running perfectly well. I got married and got pregnant, and children started coming in, and I had to kind of start learning basically everything with experience and all that. So on the second thought, I started talking to my children about their private parts. I'll tell them this is your private part. Even I think I got a material too that I kind of read to them how to for them to know their private part and every other thing, and not just knowing it, but calling their names the way it is, just the way you tell them that, okay, this is your nose. Your nose is for smelling. This is your ears. Your ears is for hearing. All the five senses: the touch, the eye, the sight, and all that. You teach children about all the part of their body. But I discovered that mostly in many homes, or the children or me myself, nobody told me about my breast. Nobody told me about my private part, like my vagina. And I said, this is your vagina. They usually call it pee pee, or wee wee, and all that stuff. But on a second thought, I told myself that I just have to let my children know the names of all these private parts, just the way they know their eyes, their nose, and their ears, mouth, and hand, and all that. So I started teaching my children. I taught Jason, this is your private part. It's called penix. This is the girl. I told her this is your private part. It's called vagina, and every other time, every other thing, your breast, your bum bum, where your buttocks, where practically I should have told them that this is the name, and nobody touches your private part. If anybody touches your private part, what will you do? You run and tell mommy and tell daddy and a teacher that listens and a teacher that has the fear of God in him or her. Not every teacher you tell, but if anybody touches your vagina, your penix, your breast, and all that, come home and tell mommy. I made it very clear to them and every other thing. So discussion of penis, vagina, breast, buttocks, everything is very free in my house. We talk about it freely, and the children to talk about it freely. Yes, that's the atmosphere we created, and we shall make them know that your private part is for you. It's not your toy. You can play with it and every other thing. I took out my time to let them know about this clearly, very clearly. I don't know, but God just, the Holy Spirit ministered to me that I should do that, and I made them know that look, your vagina, nobody touches it. Your PP, which is called penix, nobody touches it, and it's not your toy, so don't play with it and all that. And at a point, before now, before when Vicky left and my first son Jason, I discovered that he plays with his PP a lot, as in he plays with his PP, as in his penix a lot. He plays with it. And I was kind of talking to his dad about it, but his dad made me understand that men, as in boys, grown up, that sometimes their penix, go up like that and every other thing. So I now took it, okay, maybe he's in that stage of development of, having to know what your PP. So I usually correct him. Yes, when I see him playing with his pennies, I kind of tell him, no, don't, it's not your toy and every other thing. So I intensify my training, about their, private part and everything. 2 Saturdays ago, that we're having after prayers that we're discussing, as in talking about what is your issue, do you have any issue? Guess what? That's how Jason, my first son, now started. That Vicky, when Vicky was in the house, I was like, in my head, when he called Vicky, and I said, Vicky left since 2020, and we're in, which year are we now? 2022. How comes you're talking about Vicky now? So and I saying, Mommy, I want to say something. And I said, okay, go ahead, because of course we created an avenue that we compel ourselves to listen to them. And I said, Mommy, I have something to say. And I said, okay, go on, say it. And that's how he now started talking about Vicky. I listened very well. I'm going to put the video, yes. Of course, I will insert the video because I kind of video him when he was talking. I called him to talk about it. And that's how my son, guys, my son, then I think, how old is he? He's 6 years now. Then he should be, this year is 2022, right? Yes, 2020 should be kind of 3 years, going to 4 years. Yes, 3 years old child. He started remembering. Just like anything you do to children, they remember. So you just have to be careful with what you do around them. That's why he started telling me that Vicky in the night will wake up and come to their bed and carry his private part, his pennies. They actually call it that, his pennies. She will carry his pennies and put in her bum. Guys, that is it. When he was saying it, as if I should just, as in the ground should open, let me just go inside it. But I just comported myself. I didn't say anything. I'll play the video. Yes, I'll insert the video so that you hear it from his mouth. When this young child was saying what was, and he kept this away from me all this years because this girl, Vicky, that's my mate before, warned him that don't you ever tell mommy that mommy and daddy should not know about this. So my son swallowed it up. But because I created an avenue, he now remember, and I started telling him about his private part. He now remember that yes, so thing happened so time, and he was, hello Jesse.
Hello, Mommy.
Okay, can you tell me exactly what Miss Vicky did to you when she was staying in our house here?
She put my PP in her bum bum.
Okay, what's the name of your PP?
My private part of penix.
Okay, she put it in where?
Her bum bum.
On her bum bum. Okay, is it a good thing?
No.
It's not a good thing. And now you've learned, so what are you going to do next time if something happens?
I will run and tell my parents.
What? She told you not to tell your parents, right?
Yes.
How did she put it?
She said if I don't go and tell mommy and daddy, she will be my friend. If I go and tell mommy and daddy, she's not my friend. and she will spank me.
Are you serious? Okay. Look up.
Is my bum my private part?
Of course, your bumper, I think it's your private part.
My bum bum is my private part too.
Okay.
And my tongue
Hmm?
is my tummy my private part.
Of course, your tummy is your private part all the way. Okay, start.
What I learned is that I should always keep my body back to myself, and my private part is my penis, my mouth.
What did they say you should do if somebody tried to touch your private part?
Shout,
1,
run,
3, 2,
run away,
2. Okay, the third one.
and tell
Is it tell or report?
and reporting
To who?
to mom or dad,
And who again?
and teachers
Mm-hmm.
love
Teacher that what?
teachers that love and fear God.
Yes, that's good. That's very good. So never you forget that. And we watched something about David and Goliath.
Can we watch it again? Let me
Yes,
see.
but what did you gain out of it now? Sit down first. Sit down.
I will always
Mm-hmm.
not. I will always not be scared, no matter I am tiny, and I will be big if I fight that person.
Okay. And if the person say you should not tell, what will you do?
I will still tell.
Because you're bold and what?
Fearless.
Okay. All right. So never you forget that forever and what?
Ever.
Don't allow anybody to play with your private part. Your what?
Penix.
Your private part is called what?
Penix.
Okay.
Tommy.
Mm-hmm.
Bum bum.
Mm-hmm. Okay, wait. Let's name them. What and where is your private part?
My penix.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Not. I will always not be scared, no matter I am tiny, and I will be big if I fight that person.
Okay. And if the person say you should not tell, what will you do?
I will still tell.
Because you're bold and what?
Fearless.
Okay. All right. So never you forget that forever and what?
Ever.
Don't allow anybody to play with your private part. Your what?
Penix.
Your private part is called what?
Penix.
Okay.
Tommy.
Mm-hmm.
Bum bum.
Mm-hmm. Okay, wait. Let's name them.
And my mouth.
Okay, your mouth. Okay. So you say, let's do it again. Call it again. Your private part are what?
My tummy,
one,
my penix, my bum bum, my mouth, and my tummy.
Good. So never you forget that. Nobody should play with it, right?
Yeah.
And you too. Your penix is not your what?
Toy.
It's not your toy. And
Mommy.
it's not. Hold on. Your penix is not your what?
Toys.
And it's not a toy for anybody to do what with it?
Play.
With it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you,
Mommy,
Jason.
Mommy, before I thought toys are those things that is control car and control aeroplane.
And exactly. So your penix is not your toy, right?
Yes, can you buy control car and control aeroplane for me while we are coming back from rubbing our hair, please?
Okay. Subscribe to this channel, give me thumbs up, and share. Yes, share. At this point, what I've noticed is that molestation can even happen right under your nose and you will not know. But what we need to do is that we just have to equip our children with the right information, because we will not know everything. Yes, we will not. We cannot know everything that's ever happening under our nose. This one, I cannot just say that, I neglected my children. I did not neglect them. This happened in the night. She was sleeping with them. I was sleeping in my own room with my own husband. And now this is going on. And I remember even me, myself, I was molested. Yes, I was. I remember when I was a child. Yes, I was a child staying in Benue then, in Ojukbo. Yes, I remember in my own father's house, my uncle molested me. Yes, I could remember very well because, we created a family platform, and, where we talk as a family from my father, the sibling, all of us, we came together and created a WhatsApp platform. And all those people were like kind of adding members like that and every other thing. I remember, I don't want to talk too much about it, but the truth is that when I saw that person, or when I kind of, there was just something that just, came up in me that made me know that there's an experience I have with this uncle did not really go well. And now it's now dawning on me that yes, that uncle molested me one way or the other, but I could not pick it now. And I also remember, Utbo, then we were staying in Utbo. Yes, that's I'm in Nigeria. There's a place called, Utbo, that's Benue, in Benue State. Yes. And I remember there was one lady in my father's compound, because we rented the house in our compound too. And I remember me with her, we used to kind of play. She used to play rough play with me in those days, and we're kids. All of us were kids, yes. And we play rough play and all that, because we do not know if another one is coming. I realized that we'll stop what we're doing and then continue. So it's happening. It happens. It happens. And also, I think when we're talking about this, my husband also talked about his own part of it, how he experienced molestation when he was kind of, growing. And I've been hearing, other kind of people too talking about this child molestation. So guys, it's real, and we just have to equip these children with the right information so that they can be able to stand when this kind of thing comes up by themselves. So guys, if you've not subscribed yet, please subscribe. Welcome to this big community. We're growing every day, and we do not take our community for granted. We appreciate everybody in this community, because we're creating an avenue of love, of gratefulness. We're grateful. We With a grateful heart, we appreciate everything that God is doing in our life, and we see them. Yes, you could be you could be how will I put it? Yes, as in your blessing could be right before you and you could ignore it. And you just be focusing on things that are not working and leave what is happening. But in this channel, we recognize, we see, we search it out with touchlight and talk about our blessings. Yes, that's what we do from the heart of gratitude, no matter how little it is. Now, talking about this, my joy is that thank God, the Holy Spirit, made me to kind of, brings, you know, how will I put it? As in, talk to my children about their private part easily. And thank God there's an avenue that we created in the home that everybody can easily air out their feelings. And thank God that I've decided, because right now I have a maid in the house, but obviously, guys, thank God, because she came to my house when I have already created a room for them to stay and not with my children. So guys, if you're still keeping a maid with your children in their room, I think it's not the best thing to do. Create a room for them so that they can have their own privacy and your children too can have their own privacy. Because guys, the world is turning something else really. Then also, there's something I want to talk about. We're born into this world with this body, and I've realized that this body is given to us, and this body that is given to us is highly sexual. Yes, it's highly about their body, what they are going through, what the body is kind of the development of the body per time. You just cannot hide sex education from your children at this point right now that we find ourselves in this generation. We just have to kind of open up and talk to them about their body freely. Let them talk about their body freely. If you don't, another person outside will. And it will not really be okay. Another person, and who knows, the person that might talk to them about these things might not put it to them the way you would put it to them. So why not just take out time and talk to your children about their private part. Call it the name it's supposed to be. Call penix penix. Call vagina vagina. Breast breast. Yes. Buttocks, not pee pee, not wee wee, not bum bum. That we normally call all these things. If you can tell them about their eyes, you call eye. Mouth mouth. You call ear. Hand hand. Then why would you call your pee pee penix and your breast, and your vagina. Why? Because we've kind of created a belief around all these things. And because we've created a belief around all that, look at what is happening. Children are being molested because they don't know. They cannot even freely come and talk to their parents about it. So, guys, if you come across this video, as a parent, please make it your point of duty to make your children know that, their private part is their private part, and let them know the name of it, and give them, tell them, equip them, tell them that anybody that comes to them and talk to them about, touch them and want them not to tell mommy or daddy, they should run from that person and tell mommy and tell daddy and tell, and maybe teacher that listen, and not just teacher that listen, but teacher that have the fear of God in him or her. So guys, finally, we've come to the end of this video. Please equip your children. It's time for us to equip our children with all this basic information that they need to function properly in this generation that we find ourselves. Please subscribe to this channel if you've not. Give me thumbs up. Turn off the notification bell so that if we post something like this, you're going to kind of be the first to know. Yes, and share. Yes, share this video so that everybody will know that yes, it's time to start equipping our children with the right information they need. Thank you very much. I love you guys.